and welcome to the Oklahoma Venture Forum podcast. I'm your host, Lindsey Miller, founder of My Marketing Assistant. And I'm lucky enough today that is joining me is Kemi Olunyolo, the founder of ProBound. And thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much, Lindsey.
Yeah, okay, so let's start at the beginning. Tell me what ProBound is.
So ProBound is one of the first managed intelligence providers powered by AI. So we basically build voice AI agents and AI agents for our support.
Oh, I love that. So
Yeah.
do you have a background in support and customer service?
Yes. So pretty much my entire adult life has been spent in customer service and customer facing roles. I started out as a rep. I've worked in restaurants. I've worked in a grocery store. My very first job was a grocery store. And then I transitioned into the auto space, which then took me down the path of management. And so I had the experience of managing teams. That's kind of where I learned to put sales process together and learned how to use Excel. So that was awesome. My most recent position, I was able to take the business from mid six figures in sales to over $40 million in sales.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And set you up to start your own thing.
Yeah.
And so where did the idea for ProBound come from?
So ProBound came from wanting to basically replace myself. So I'm from New York, and when I relocated to Oklahoma, literally less than a month later, I lost my job. And so with that came, okay, what am I going to do next? And I started speaking with businesses. And in speaking with businesses, they all wanted to hire me, but none of them could actually afford my salaries, or at least my salary requirements. So at that point, I was just like, okay, like this is insane, because I'm surrounded by all these businesses and they need help. They don't have help. They need help. They need someone to come in, take charge, lead, because they're not doing it, correctly at that time. And yeah, I was just like, how can I scale myself? And so that's kind of how ProBound got started.
Sometimes it's like the best way to start a business.
Yeah.
Right? Like I know what I'm doing really well. Like how do I take that to the next level? And so how did you accomplish that with ProBound?
So initially we were going to the idea was to make my talent more affordable. To give you an idea, in the East Coast, I would get low six figures, which would be anywhere from 100 to 200K in salary. Whereas in Tulsa, someone with my level of experience may get an offer for around 70K. So it just, that's a huge jump. That's a huge jump, especially when you are a performer. So what I figured was, okay, if they're offering 70K, that means that's a hard, number one, they don't have a lot of budget there, which would then mean that they need to kind of fall in a certain price point to be able to have support agents. So the first thing I thought about was maybe outsourcing to other countries, just where, obviously the USD to their dollar is is much larger. So that way, obviously, we can make the talent much more affordable. But then I realized that, with the way the world is and how inconsistent, talent can be, that may not be the best course of action, especially because I'm not there. So then you can end up misrepresenting the business. And now I've launched a company, but the customers are not happy, and it's a whole thing. So I said, okay, what's the next thing? And that's when I realized that voice AI could be the next thing. So when we first got started, our voice AI did not sound as good as it did today. So now it sounds more human-like, but when we first got started, it definitely sounded like AI. But yeah, so that's when we realized that voice AI is the next thing.
I don't know a lot about the voice AI pieces and creating that agent that can work independently. So I'm fascinated. So tell me more about that.
So I guess the simplest way I can put it is you build personas around data, right? So I could take myself and then make myself 100x smarter with just data, and that will produce a voice AI agent. I try to I'm not the technical founder.
It's okay.
I'm very non-technical, so.
That's okay. Though that makes sense to me because when the first AI chat started coming out, right? And I was creating branching logic of if they ask this question, here are the possible answers. And then if they choose one of those answers, this is the next way. So I think I'm following just because I have that experience of like that branching piece.
Yeah.
All right. So similar to that. And then how are you making the voices?
So the voices now, because I am a non-technical founder, it's code. And I can't read code.
But it's working and it's doing great and they sound awesome.
Yes.
So I did see on the website that you can like speak to an agent, like a sample thing. So tell me at least about that. So if our listeners want to go and take that step.
So I did train Kelly. That is our demo agent, I like to say. And Kelly is really good at communicating with different individuals regarding whatever kind of business you're into. So sometimes people want to just talk about a business idea that they're considering, and they'll call into Kelly and, they'll mention a business idea and they'll go back and forth for about 10 minutes. But the idea is just for you to experience the capabilities of ProBound and to understand where support can lie.
And that was just on the homepage of the website, right?
Yes.
If anyone wants to go take that step.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. So what has customer acquisition look like for you all? Like when did you start this? And like, tell me a little bit.
So we were officially incorporated in March of 2024. And then I spent most of the year with customer discovery. Like I said, at that time, AI was not as realistic. So you have to find a very special type of customer that would want to actually take on having that kind of representation. So as we're developing the technology, as my CTO is developing the technology, I was just talking to different customers to understand their pain points and to understand how we can support them. And so we built out Kelly, another version of Kelly in Q3 of 2024. And then we had our first paid pilot in Q4 of 2024.
Wow. And how did that go? Were there any wins or successes?
Yes. So prior to Christmas, our customer was in the real estate. So our customer was able to see a $2 million return.
Just from using their AI support. That's incredible.
They spent less than $3,000 with us.
We should definitely be talking about that.
Yeah.
Like, that's fantastic. And what's the learning curve for a customer that wants to come in and utilize this?
Very little. So think about you hiring your perfect employee that already knows everything. That's literally what we're building. Yeah. So all you would do is you would pick a role, for example. You'd say, hey, I want a receptionist, or hey, I want a restaurant agent to take orders. The agent would already know how to present itself as a customer service person or a customer service persona, and then at that point, you would just provide your company information. So as long as you know where you work,
you have that menu together.
That's it. But yeah, so it's really simple. So on the customer side, you don't actually have to have any technical skills to get an AI agent going.
That's fantastic. And so are people using it on the web? Are they calling in? Is it both?
So there is no need for web anything outside of logging in and creating an account and a platform where you can track the phone calls and the analytics. But outside of that, there's nothing you have to, it's a plug and play solution. So think about when calls are transferred. You don't see who they're transferred to. You just know that they're transferred and someone on the other line is handling it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. You've talked a lot about the customers and customer discovery. You obviously spent a lot of time in that over the last year. Yeah. So what were the biggest lessons that you learned?
Customers are more willing to pay for things than we thought. I feel like one of the biggest things as a startup founder that I've experienced is our paid pilot was paid for before we had a platform. We just launched our platform less than 2 months ago. So people have been paying for something that they can't see. Mm-hmm. And customers are willing to do so as long as they know that they're going to get results.
Right. And then obviously you're seeing that. Yeah. I mean, the real estate client, that's so huge.
That's one.
Yeah, right? So what industries do you think, and I mean, I know the answer, right? Every industry can benefit from something like this, but where do you think are the really easy add-on industries to use ProBound?
So I would say restaurants, real estate, real easy plug-in, ticket support, IT support for passwords resets and stuff like that. Yeah, I think those are pretty much the easy,
Yeah.
legal offices for people who want to do outreach or, inbound calls for any lawsuits or anything going on. There's, everyone has a lawsuit right now.
Right, exactly. Like gathering information, taking a message for that attorney or paralegal to call them back or make contact.
Yeah. So a lot of our customers have stated that, our AI agents are able to collect more information consistently and quickly than the average rep collects. And that's because the average rep is usually tired.
I mean,
that's the reality. They're usually
customer
tired.
Service is hard.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yes. Like that's one thing, right? It's really awful. Like people are so mean.
Yeah.
Like they're mean in email customer support. I can only imagine on the phone when someone's calling in and being upset and angry.
Yeah. As someone who's had to fix a lot of problems,
Absolutely. And you're in the car industry, you said, for a while.
So I was
very volatile.
I mean, I've had people come from other states for vehicles that weren't even available.
And then they were mad at you.
They were mad at me, but they bought a car. They were mad at me, but we made it
very good at what you do.
But it's not, when it comes to customer facing roles, it's not for a normal person, in my opinion. You got to be a little insane to be able to deal with different personalities all the time. Yeah. So what I saw as I was a rep, but also as I sat and looked at my team members, it's draining. It's very draining. And you don't have the opportunity to touch everything.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. And that's where businesses are really falling off, is because once a call comes in, you're, answering to that call. As soon as that call is over, another call comes in. You haven't even put in your notes. You haven't submitted an email. You haven't submitted the follow-up. You haven't done anything for that next call. And you've already forgotten about that customer. Not because you want to forget about the customer, but just because you're just busy.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. Or even just to take a moment and take a breath and be like, it's not about me. They do not actually hate me.
It's not personal.
I am a good person. Yeah. I'm trying my best to make these people happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really hard. And so I can definitely see where some automations in that space. And then you can still escalate to a human if you need to. I'm assuming. At what point does ProBound have that trigger?
So it just depends. Every business is different. We have an admissions agent. And so for the admissions agent specifically, we do not allow the agent to pull student record, student data, but what it can do is answer questions based on things that are generally in front of people, but they just don't see it sometimes. And that's fine, because there's a lot of times that I don't see things that's in front of me. But so the agent just answers questions. It can help transfer calls directly to the right person instead of kind of sending the customers on a round robin. And so if someone says, hey, I submitted my application, but my student ID is not working, it'll submit it to the right team member at that point. So the escalation looks a little bit different for every business.
Yeah, that would make sense. And you all are helping somebody set this up, I guess. It's not totally.
So it's in a way preset, and all we're doing is kind of helping them set the parameters.
Okay, that's fantastic. Yeah. What other fun customer stories do you have? Because I'm fascinated by all these different use cases.
Yeah, so the admissions agent, actually, they just got back to us about 2 months ago, and they were able to see 700 applications additional.
Wow.
Which gave them over $14 million in additional revenue in less than 6 months.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And it's just the speed of being able to gather that information is how that works for them.
It's just the ability to touch everyone that you come into contact with.
Yeah. Okay, so what's next for ProBound? So you guys just launched. You just got out of your paid pilot. So what's on the horizon?
So we are now honing in and focusing on IT support. So think of an intelligence platform where the platform is proactive to stop in or lessen risk. So for example, if everyone is calling in and having to reset their password, then maybe there's an internal issue that has to be done. So the AI agent will realize and say, okay, it seems like there's an internal issue. Let me go ahead and escalate this higher up so that the higher level engineer or technical talent can look into the issue to make sure that there's no data risk or, cybersecurity issues going on. So that's what we're doing.
That is really exciting.
Yeah.
And then for like, do you have any customer goals or anything else like that? Like, where are you going to be in 3 years?
So in 3 years, we're hoping to have roughly about 900 customers. Mm-hmm. And roughly about 900 customers, and maybe a team of like 30 people.
Hey, those are great goals.
Yeah.
And what does your team look like now?
Our team, so we have a team of 4. Mm-hmm. So we have 2 engineers, myself and my co-founder.
That's fantastic. That's what I love about technology. Yeah. It's, you don't necessarily have to have 100 people to serve.
Not today.
Not yet.
It's not today.
Yeah.
I mean, if ProBound, the idea is ProBound gets huge. And at that point, our team is probably going to be compiled of sales and engineers.
Mm-hmm. And some customer support agents.
Yes.
Customer
support agents.
Yeah.
AI agents, but also human agents to manage the AI agents.
At least one of those human people, but a lot of technology, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's really exciting.
It is.
And so how long have you been in Oklahoma?
Not very long. So I got here literally Q4 of 2023.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then came in and started a business. Yeah. That's pretty awesome. And you're going to stick around for a little while, at least?
I think so. Oklahoma has kept me here this long.
It has that way of kind of putting her claws in you, I guess.
Yeah.
And keeping us around. Okay, so here's a really fun question. This actually, you gave me this idea, so I'm not going to take credit for it. Okay. But if ProBound or a magic wand, mm-hmm. and you could just wave it, what problem would it solve? What would it do?
Communication problems. So if ProBound was a magic wand and we could just wave it, it'll make communicating easier for folks. When it comes to, businesses that may have multilingual customers, and sometimes it's just a little bit harder mm-hmm. to speak to them, ProBound can simplify that. When it comes to simplifying the language, we talk about IT support, but if you're talking to technical folks and you have someone like me who's non-technical speaking to a technical person, I don't know what you're saying. Mm-hmm. So with ProBound, we can actually simplify that communication channel. Mm-hmm. And so, that's what I would say.
I think that's a really good answer. And I totally agree with you, even as just learning more about it today, because my only knowledge was looking at the website, a couple of days ago and preparing. And so, I think it could be definitely simplifying communication.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're speaking at the luncheon on November 12th mm-hmm. and for this OVF community, the Oklahoma Venture Forum, what's your ask of us? What can we do and how can we help you?
So we are actually fundraising. We just launched our fundraising round this week. Oh. What day is it?
Thursday
right?
Today, yeah.
So this week. And so with that, we are fundraising. So we're asking to be connected to both angels and investor networks to just, pitch and see if anyone's interested.
Yeah. And so who is a good investor for you all? What are they going to be excited about?
Technology. I would say they're going to be excited about technology, but also about what the future of IT and cybersecurity looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if there are any venture companies out there who have portcos whose companies are support heavy, that might be a really good.
That's a partnership opportunity. Yeah.
Right.
So even if they aren't prepared to invest in us, or we just don't fall in their wheelhouse, we could still support their customers, or not their customers, but their investments.
Yeah, their investments customers.
They are customers in a way. Yeah,
absolutely. Right. Fantastic. Okay, so now that you've been a founder all of these years, but what I always say is we're only an expert if we know a little bit more than the other person. That's all we have to do. But now that you've founded this company, what's advice that you would give someone else who's looking at you and being oh my gosh, I want to be like Kemi when I grow up?
Just do it. Just do it. I feel like a lot of times I naturally have a personality where I do things that terrify me. So because I'm just you have this life to live, while we're here, just do it. What happens when you're not here anymore?
Right.
So I would say just do it, but apply that to business as well. So if there's a business idea that you want to go after, with the access to technology now and it being so affordable, there's so much that can get done. Every day I'm thinking of a new business idea. And it's not on purpose. It's literally by accident. But the reality is there's so many problems in this world that we have today, and there's so many solves. And I wish people would just, once they think of a solution, do some research and go after it. You never know. You can talk to your customer and boom, now you have a business.
And I love what you said too, that like you do things that you're afraid of like all the time.
Yeah.
Like, God, that's fantastic. I'm jealous of that.
It's exciting.
Right? Sometimes we can absolutely let fear hold us back.
Yeah.
So, that's admirable.
Yeah.
I see that.
It's exciting. You know, it makes for an expensive therapy bill, but it's exciting.
Well, we all have those. That's fantastic. Well, thank you for the conversation today.
Thank you so much.
And for all of you listeners, Kemi will be at our November 12th Venture Forum luncheon at Innovation Hall in Oklahoma City. If you want to find out more information about ProBound and Kemi Olunloyo, did I do better that time?
It's okay.
Oh, darn it. I'm really trying, y'all. ProBound.ai, and then go and talk to Kelly and like check that out. And once you do, let us know on social media what you think. But thank you for listening today. And thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Bye.